Thank you to our sponsors for today's video: InfyPower, Amber, StarCharge, and Nokian Tyres. InfyPower is the largest EV charger module provider with over 3 million power modules running reliably worldwide. Their latest G2 collection features ultra-high power density and efficiency for EV charging and energy storage integration. InfyPower, innovation for your power. Amber offers a modern extended warranty for your Tesla's battery and more without the burden of long-term contracts or upfront payments. Check out the link in the description below to browse their plan options and get started with a free over-the-air diagnostic check. This video is also brought to you by StarCharge, the largest EV charging manufacturer in the world, and is also a provider of residential and commercial battery storage as well as microgrid solutions. And Nokian Tyres, a leader in safety and sustainability. Maximize performance and efficiency with their made-in-USA all-season tires and their dedicated Hakkapeliitta EV winter line from the inventor of the winter tire. Learn more at nokiantires.com/EV.
Hello and welcome back to another Out of Spec Reviews video here at Fort Collins Kia. Actually, look at this thing. I don't know if we've really shown this on camera much, but this is their Fort Collins CSU inspired EV9. Absolutely sick with the roof rack and everything. Very, very on brand for Colorado. Anyways, here on this channel, we do feature a lot of very interesting cars, very expensive cars, notably some stuff with the EQS over there that I brought over here. Yeah, very cool, very expensive electric cars. There's a lot of really, really fun, expensive electric cars, but a lot of you mentioned, rightfully so in the comments, wait, what about the people who don't want to fork over that money or can't afford to fork over that much money? Well, here in Colorado, it's an insane time to own an EV. The lease deals are off the charts, and we've featured them here at Fort Collins Kia before, but I just wanted to highlight another one for you guys that just popped up that kind of blew my mind a bit, and that is for this. This is the EV6 Lite long range all-wheel drive. So they mentioned, hey, we got a new lease deal coming around, $49 a month, something like that. I was like, wait, what? Okay, coming down and check it out. And I didn't realize it was going to be an EV6 all-wheel drive long range, like the base model, the light rear-wheel drive small battery. I could have seen that maybe, but it's crazy. Let's dive into the details. So we've done a lot featuring the Kia EV6. In fact, we are actually borrowing EV6 GT, the spicy top of the line model. Very, very fun performance car. Not actually that efficient though. So that's one that you'll see some videos on very soon. But here I actually wanted to mention this light model is very intriguing to me. We've done a lot of content with the EV6 wind trim, which I think is kind of the sweet spot for a lot of people. Of course, the GT line sits above that. The light sits below it. The GT sits above everything else, but not actually luxuriousness wise, it's just sporty. It doesn't even have powered seats. This one is the base model, for lack of a better term, but it really doesn't have much that the wind is missing. In fact, when we heard about this deal, we thought it was going to be a rear-wheel drive EV6. So it was like, oh, cool, let's get it out for testing, do some range tests and stuff. But we don't even get the rear-wheel drive in Colorado. Literally, it's the all-wheel drive, which made this deal even more compelling. This is a $51,000 car that Kia of Fort Collins is leasing out for $49 a month plus tax, or $128 including tax per month, which is still crazy. Just over $100, and it's $19.99 down, 24 months, 10,000 miles a year. So for most people, literally most people, this would be an insane car to have as a city car, but it actually has really good range and charging. So if you do have road trips in your future, this is actually a fantastic road tripper. In fact, the first thing I ever did with EV6 was take it on a 1,000-mile road trip from, I think it was Chicago down to Dallas with my friend Ahmad. He had his EV6 Wind, and at the time, the Wind was the base model. Like, that was the cheapest one you could buy. Now they've since introduced the Lite, and I think it's pretty compelling. So we're going to do a quick deep dive into what the Lite entails, but I just wanted to mention up front, that's the lease deal. Again, I have to reiterate, this is for Colorado residents only. If you're not a Colorado resident, I do apologize. you probably could still get decent deals maybe at your local Kia. Like, it's still a good entry-level electric car with very good technology under the pin. I mean, we're talking high voltage architecture, really good charging, decent range. This is the most range spec. I mean, rear-wheel drive could go a bit further, but not much. All-wheel drive with what, 250 something miles of range, totally usable around town, and again for those road trips, like I said. So I wouldn't really hesitate to recommend this to a lot of people, and you still get all the actual underlying technology, which I think is important. You still get highway drive assist, for example. You don't get HDA2 until the higher trims, but HDA1 is still amazing, lane centering and everything, all you really need. You still have the really good charging. Of course, you have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You even have powered driver's seat, which we can look at right here. Open this up. Yeah, so you have a powered driver's seat. You do have a manual passenger seat, but I guess the GT has manual seats, so is that really a premium feature? I don't know. What else? The same type of stuff that you could expect. Even the heated seat and steering wheel is standard. Actually, heated steering wheel might not be standard if you get the rear wheel drive, but here in Colorado, all we get is the all wheel drive. I guess it's Colorado. Everyone thinks they need all wheel drive. So that's where this comes in. But yeah, firing it up, take a look at this. It's the Kia EV6, as you probably know and love. So it was very fascinating for me to see the differences between this and the Wind, or actually just how few differences there are. I guess other considerations is you don't get the surround view, like you don't get the 360 camera, you don't get the camera popping up in your screen whenever you turn the turn signal on. That comes in with the Wind optionally, like it's an option on the Wind, or it's standard on the GT line and the GT. I do like those features, but again, is it worth that much more money? You of course get an auto dimming mirror as standard, no home link. You have to actually go up to, I think, GT line or GT for home link. So even the Wind doesn't get home link. And you also don't have a sunroof. That actually doesn't come until the GT line or the GT as well. Even the Wind has the actual hard roof, which is fine. It's actually I'm curious what you guys think of the sunroof mentality, glass roof stuff, because a lot of EVs have glass roof as standard. You can't even change that in, say, like a Tesla or a Rivian, but a lot of people end up buying shades for them because they get hot in the sun, they let in more light and heat. So some people actually prefer the hard roof. I guess I could see it either way. Curious what you guys think. And then there's also no ambient lighting. That is a big miss, Kia. It is not expensive to add ambient lighting. So I don't know who decided that you don't get ambient lighting until GT line. Even the Wind doesn't get ambient lighting. But there are a lot of aftermarket options. I have to shamelessly plug my friend in Modifications. He has his, well, his name's Ahmad, but his YouTube channel is Modifications. He has an EV6 Wind that we've borrowed and filmed on this channel as well. He's added ambient lighting and certain things to his Wind aftermarket. So check out his channel if you want to maybe see what you could add to your Wind or even your light, because a lot of the things he's done to his Wind, you could also do to the light. Beyond that, there is no Meridian speaker system. It's just the standard 6-speaker system, which is fine. Like, it's totally fine. It's serviceable. It's not incredible, but honestly, neither is the Meridian, in my opinion. Hot take, maybe. So it's totally fine. I've heard much worse systems. I think most people wouldn't even care unless you're like a severe audiophile. But then again, you're spending just over $100 a month on a car. What do you expect? That's really... I would take a car with no stereo for that. It's really cool. Here's the manual passenger seat that I just wanted to show on this side. But yeah, technology-wise, like I mentioned, the same type of stuff as the Wind. In fact, exact same 77.4 kilowatt hour battery pack, I believe. Makes about 240 kilowatts of power, so that's about 300 something horsepower, 446 pound-feet of torque. You can see peak charging rates of up to 230 kilowatts. You're looking at 10 to 80% charging in about 18 minutes. So even though it's a base model, it doesn't actually mean you're missing out on some of those things. And this even has a heat pump. I don't know if the rear-wheel drive ones have heat pumps, but the fact that this is the all-wheel drive, it's got the heat pump, the heated steering wheel, I guess it's just like winterized spec is what they're thinking on that. There is actually no vehicle to load to speak of either, so you can't charge other things off of this car, but still has the normal charging situation and even a powered charging port as standard. That's kind of cool. But opening up the back here, it is a manual opening thing, so you don't have the powered close thing. In fact, that's the blink to remind you that you don't. A little bit of underfloor storage here, not very much, but you got your tire and mobility kit, and yeah, just an interesting little shelf of storage, I guess. And the back seats fold flat, of course. It is kind of a sort of coupe looking, sedan looking thing, but still technically a hatchback, which I like. I don't actually mind the manual opening thing at all in that case either. See if we can pop the frunk here. Obviously, Kia is not known for having really impressive frunks. There we go. Because, well, especially with the all-wheel drive variants of the EV9, but with the EV6, I don't think any of them have a very good frunk. That's just an EGMP thing. The Ioniq 6 is the same, Ioniq 5 is the same. Get your little bit of storage here. So I guess you could keep EVSE up here, some car cleaning supplies, but that's really it. It's a tiny little briefcase situation under the hood. But pretty cool to see the underpinnings, very easily accessible things, so can't complain too much about that. And yeah, comes in a few different colors. Fort Collins Kia has a decent amount of these. They'll be getting some more in as well. They're just really trying to get them out the door, and I think it's a good time for you guys to take advantage of that in case you're looking at a car and needing a really, really good deal. The new EV6 is coming, but there aren't that many changes, and I actually, maybe hot take, think it looks way worse. I love the design of the EV6 as it is right now. That's the wind in that interesting off-white color that Colton has. This is a dark gray color. I just prefer the look of the front end on these, especially. I think the new headlight redesign's a little funky, but that could be just me. Apparently some people like it. It did pass design tests, so who's to say I'm right or wrong? It's subjective. Looks are subjective. I'm gonna step back inside because it's loud out there. How in the world can they actually get the lease to be this cheap? Well, it's a number of things. The Colorado has the $5,350, like $5,000 something dollars lease incentive. There's also additional tax incentives and rebates. There's federal stuff. There's Kia themselves actually discounting this. So it's a lot of things coming together, resulting in over 20 grand of discounts. I mean, even when the EV6 first came out over 2.5 years ago, it was future-proof technology enough with the higher voltage architecture, really good charging, like it was easy to recommend to a lot of people. The software can be a bit clunky sometimes. Not everyone likes this like dual use display. I mean, I think you get used to it, but either way, that's what we're looking at with this one. But that is it. How about that? A really weirdly short video, because we don't even need to drive this thing. It's the exact same drivetrain as the Wind, and that's the point I want to keep driving home. You're not sacrificing much by going to the base model. You're not getting crazy low power. You know, kind of like the EV9 we did some videos with, quite a few videos with. It was the base model. It was definitely a bit underpowered. Whereas stepping up to the all-wheel drive variants was like, oh, this is a lot more power, much more serviceable. This is all-wheel drive. It has 2 motors, and it's very, very capable. So, what do you guys think? This is the EV6. We'll leave the link down in the description below to the contact info of Fort Collins Kia. And yeah, it'd be great if you guys support them. They support us and what we do, and so it means a lot if you support them as well. So if you're in the market for a Kia, hit them up. If it is the EV6 and you're looking for a really, really inexpensive EV to run and ride and drive in Colorado, give them a shout.